Looking at monthly subscription fees these days is just exhausting. From movies to cloud storage, absolutely everything forces you into a subscription. Over a year, it easily adds up to thousands of dollars. It's getting completely out of control. But before you reach for your wallet yet again, take a look at this crappy old HP PC. This thing, which honestly should be resting in peace in an e-waste dump, is the star of today's show. We're going to run a little experiment to turn this dirt cheap piece of junk into a 4K movie streaming server and a personal photo and video cloud, completely for free. Sounds a bit impossible for such a low-spec machine, right? Let's find out. First, let's do some quick math. A little Netflix, Hulu, and iCloud here. Some Apple TV, Spotify, or YouTube Premium there. It feels like pocket change at first, but these subscriptions are silently bleeding our wallets dry. The average American spends about $1,000 a year on them. Enough for a solid gaming PC or a nice vacation. For me, I checked my bills and almost passed out seeing a grand total of $1,500. It's wild how much cash we blindly hand over to big tech. That's why I decided to find a way out, and the answer is this heavily scratched beat up HP EliteDesk 800 G1SFF. You can easily score one of these on eBay at a thrift store or a junkyard for dirt cheap, like 20 to 50 bucks. When corporations upgrade their systems, they just dump hordes of these perfectly functional machines because they consider them e-waste. But for us tinkerers, it's an absolute goldmine. Now the specs on this specific potato will definitely make you laugh. An Intel Core i3 and 8GB of RAM. Let's be real, forcing this thing to run Windows 11 in 2026 is straight up a crime. It'll either stutter itself to death or just gift you a blue screen. Sure, you could install modified versions of Windows like Tiny 11, but that comes with certain risks. And hey, I actually made a separate video about that, so feel free to check it out. Instead, we're giving this scrap metal a much higher calling, transforming it into a media streaming and storage hub for the entire family. Will it live up to our expectations, or am I just about to waste my time on a pile of junk? First off, let's see if this potato machine has anything interesting going for it. The outside is rough, but the interior is actually pretty promising. We've got a drive cage with a smart flip-up hinge. Classic pre-built engineering. This rat's nest of proprietary wires is a bit annoying, but hey, we get 3 SATA ports. Plenty of room for a storage server, plus there are 4 RAM slots, 2 PCIe by 16 slots, and a 240 watt power supply. The upgrade potential is huge, but today we are keeping it strictly zero budget just to see where the absolute limit of this junk is. Powering on, and boom, we are in the BIOS. It recognizes the Core i3-4130 CPU and a single lonely 8GB stick of DDR3. Awesome. The potato is alive and well. Now, to actually get this thing working, we just need to throw a hard drive in here. I'll be using an old 1TB HDD and a super cheap 128GB SSD. The formula here is very simple. The SSD carries the operating system and applications for instant system responsiveness, while the HDD will serve as the Sainiraj vault for movies and data. You can absolutely run everything on a single HDD to save money, but its speed will make the system sluggish. Plus, this SSD only costs about the price of a few cups of coffee, so why not invest, right? Alright, the hardware is pretty much sorted out. Now it's time to decide the soul of this machine, the OS. I'm going to choose Ubuntu Linux instead of Windows. The reason? Windows is way too bloated for this machine, and it always has this bizarre habit of automatically rebooting for updates right when you least expect it. Meanwhile, Ubuntu is a completely different story. Lightweight, simple, low on resource usage, and runs stably on older hardware. The installation process is pretty straightforward. Just flash Ubuntu onto my trusty USB drive and plug it into this old HP. The machine boots straight into Ubuntu without a single hitch. Select Install to SSD, and now we just wait a bit, and we're done. A huge plus with Ubuntu is how user-friendly the interface is. It comes with a built-in app center allowing you to easily install any app you need with just a few clicks. No need to worry about struggling with a headache-inducing wall of terminal commands. And look at that, at idle the system is very resource efficient. The CPU is basically chilling and RAM usage is sitting at a mere 1.2 gigabytes. This is absolutely ideal for a 24/7 home server. Our 2 drives are also fully recognized by the system. The 128GB SSD and the 1TB HDD are sitting right here. Alright, everything is ready to go. Now it's time to turn this machine into a proper media server. To make that happen, I'm going to need an app called Plex. The big plus here is that Plex is available right inside Ubuntu's App Center, so it only takes a single click to install. Honestly, there are plenty of alternatives out there, but I decided to go with Plex because of its popularity and how highly rated it is. It can take a hard drive full of messy files and turn it into a professional movie library that rivals Netflix. And the absolute best part? This entire library lives right on my old PC, instead of sitting in some corporate cloud that forces you to shell out cash every single month. And just like that, it works flawlessly. The initial setup guide walks you through every step without a single hiccup. To test its limits, I grabbed an external drive loaded with my favorite movies, plugged it into our little potato machine, and copied the files over. Next, you just create a library in Plex and point it to your media folder. Once the scan finishes, boom, your entire movie collection is beautifully organized with posters and trailers looking just like a premium streaming service. Look at that. The dashboard even says fully accessible outside your network. Right now, I'm streaming a movie directly onto my laptop. Apologies, I have to blur out some copyrighted footage here, but as you can see, the playback is butter smooth. We are officially running our own personal Netflix. But we aren't stopping at movies. We're also coming for Spotify. Plex has a built-in music player, so all we need to do is set up a music library the exact same way. Just like that, I can stream my favorite tunes anywhere, on any device, completely free. The savings are already starting to stack up. Now, let's tackle the biggest wallet drainer of them all, cloud storage. Every single one of us has a smartphone packed with tons of photos and videos. And honestly, having to cough up extra cash every single month just because you maxed out your basic storage limit for more iCloud or Google Photo space is a total pain. Sure, you could manually drag and drop your photos onto this PC via a cable, but let's be real, that's a massive chore nobody has time for. Enter our secret weapon, Image. Image is a completely free open source software that lets you build your own private cloud. Their Linux documentation is incredibly detailed, though it does involve a fair share of terminal commands. Don't worry, it's not as scary as it looks, and there are tons of deep dive tutorials on YouTube if you get stuck. It took me about 30 minutes of tinkering, and now I have a fully functioning personal cloud. It automatically backs up my entire photo and video library from my phone wirelessly. It has all the smart features, facial recognition, and slick interface of iCloud and Google Photos, but with a lifetime subscription price of exactly $0. So here's the big picture. This old HP is basically operating as a custom NAS and media powerhouse. You have a central server hosting your data, and you can securely access your personal media library remotely over the internet, all managed seamlessly through your Plex and Image setups. While Plex does offer a paid Plex Pass for advanced features, the free version is more than enough for most people. However, let's keep it real, nothing is perfect, and there are a few trade-offs you need to consider. This machine has to stay on all the time, so your electricity bill will take a minor hit. You do need a bit of an inner geek to configure this and handle occasional troubleshooting. This is older, used hardware, so its remaining lifespan is always a bit of a gamble. But honestly, breathing new life into a forgotten machine, keeping electronic waste out of a landfill, and making it genuinely useful again is an incredibly satisfying experiment. It beats letting it rot, and it saves you a massive chunk of change every single month. That is the real magic of smart recycling. So what are your plans for that old PC collecting dust in your closet? Drop a comment below and let me know. Catch you in the next experiment.